Alrighty, and we're back. So as it turns out, there are a lot of really exciting mistakes that go into the processes of making videos. For starters, I made a whole 1 or 2 parts worth of video, and then realized, hey, wait a second, my windows are off. So I had to go back and change that. Fun stuff. But that's all part of the process. Much like life itself. You go out, oh, that's disc armor, quite interesting. The downside is I'm out of MP, and this guy's gonna whack me with an axe. That's part of the video editing process. Okay, so the nice thing is here I've got 2 jumps, so I have a lot more leverage than early game combat intends me to have. So that's super nice. That's just another nice thing about randomizers. They can either be extremely fickle or extremely generous when it comes to aiding the player's skill. Just because generally I'm a pretty bad player at this game. I actually perform horribly. So, just to clarify, I thought I had an ability that would let me run backwards without looking backwards, so I could actually get through that red thing's mouth. Generally speaking, I'm not very good at this game. The only reason why I'm just acing the game right now, skimming through it, is because 1, Black Panther, 2, this overpowered fist weapon, and 3, the fact that you can just hack away at great armor and get away from his sword quite easily. So that's the 3rd boss. We're going right through this. I'm going to walk through Hammer just because I really like this scene. Someone just disses him, and Hammer disses him right back with an "oh, my apologies." What a passive-aggressive way to assert dominance here. Anyway, Hammer's surprised that he's in a castle and all that jazz. So the interesting thing is you would normally get an ability soul here, but I just got a coffee. That's looking to be a recurring thing in this run, I guess. And so that is another wonderful example of my dexterity when I play this game. Okay, great. Now that I've gotten past those guys, I can just kind of hop through this room. Nice thing about those enemies, viewers, I imagine it's kind of like Bueller, but Mudman, that's quite interesting. The nice thing about those enemies is that they're very easy to kill, so supposing that I can kill one of them, I could potentially get a really easy soul. So this is a really interesting kind of situation here. Because if I slide through this, which is an ability I'm not supposed to have, I can actually go into an area that I'm not supposed to be in for quite a while. But as you can see, there's nothing I can do here because I need to hit that switch on the left. So I was hoping I could do some mad sequence breaks that even world record holders would be left in awe at. But I suppose that's not happening today. You know, one reason why I really like this particular bullet soul that I have, that's the axe. Or not, it's not an axe, it's more like a wheel of doom, I suppose. But it comes out at an angle that starts roughly 45 degrees below me and then ends up 45 degrees above me. And that's crazy. It feels a little like Marth's F Smash in Melee, I guess. Before they nerfed it in Brawl and nerfed it even more in 4. And I guess that feeling of covering such a wide zone in front of you is just really satisfying. Okay, so without even knowing it, I've kind of cleaned up the first 3 bosses. It kind of says something interesting about the pacing of this game, that we keep this soul, the one that lets you sneak around like you're on crack, for the very end, and when you have it at the very beginning, you just zip through the game. No pun intended. The downside is, because I got cursed by that ectoplasm, I don't have the MP that I need to do that. So these are going to kind of be the bane of my existence for the next 2 levels or so. Or I suppose they're not really levels, but compartmentalized spaces within the castle. This is kind of a game that's more similar to Metroid than it is to the Castlevania games with the Belmonts. Although there is a Belmont in this game. Whoops. I can't quite bounce on that guy yet. Later in the game, there's an ability that will let me actually bounce on enemies' heads if I time it right. Unfortunately, I don't have that ability right now, so that means a not so great time for me. One thing that really surprised me when I first played this game, I think I must have been about 10 at the time, even though it has an ESRB rating of 13. I was a real rebel back then. but I was really surprised by the gore that this game has. Some of it makes sense, like when someone gets hit by these spiky thingies because I'm bad at platformers. Okay, can I make it up there, please? Let's see. Nice. Good one. So, some of it was the gore, which just seeing the bloody injuries that someone incurs when he goes through the castle, those kind of surprised me. But, okay, let's see, what can I eat here? But what surprised me even more than that was just how pretty this game looks. I mean, it came out quite a while ago. I want to say 2003? Oh my god, I'm at 1 HP. Do I want to take a gamble or not? Sure. Let's make life interesting. My commentary is going to suffer for the next, like, 30 seconds as I make sure that my little gamble doesn't result in me losing progress. Okay. Sure, why not? We've come so far. Skyfish. Alright. So this soul is kind of interesting. Wait. Commentary suffering. Okay, nice. That was clutch. That was clutch. If this tiny devil doesn't hit me, bam. 1 HP. Super duper clutch. Generally speaking, I'm not clutch at video games, so I'm going to regard that as one of my formative crowning moments. So Skyfish is a pretty cool little soul here. Kind of lets me buff up if bosses have an inactive phase. Whoops, that's my bullet soul. So I just glow like Jesus, and that makes me stronger, I guess. Okay, nice. That soul is pretty self-explanatory, buy goods at simpler prices, and I actually really like that in a randomizer especially, just because the shopkeeper that we saw earlier dissing Soma, he will have some probably higher leveled weapons than the game intended me to have, so that should be pretty interesting. Let's make my way through this next room, then I can talk about how the randomizer kind of unwieldedly allowed me to sequence break this one part. Zip through that because it's not important. So here, to make it through, you're supposed to have a soul. I don't know why I jumped back out. Just got caught in my explanation, I guess. But you're supposed to have a soul that lets you slow falling like I talked about earlier, and also you're supposed to be able to double jump. In my case, I got double jump before fighting that third boss, the one with the huge sword, and of course I have Dracula on crack. That is the name of the ability, and that lets me go places that perhaps the game designers didn't really intend me to. Okay. The nice thing is I'm finally learning how to avoid those spikes, after maybe 4 or 5 times of having gone through this section of the game. Alright, I've already got the Tsukinoko soul, so that's not a problem. So I think my first warp room is coming up, if not here, then pretty soon. Uh-oh. These guys hit hard. And they self-spawn. Like Lord of the Flies, but in a less symbolic way, in a more you are going to die way. Alright. Here comes a warp room up ahead. And the nice thing about this one is you can actually warp to the first warp room, or the 0th warp room, I guess, if you follow programming logic. Because even though I never actually used that one, it's active from the start. Before I go to the beginning and kind of buy stuff in the store, I'm going to explore what's up here and keep using my fist for as long as it's statistically viable. What is up here anyway? I'm not quite sure. I think maybe an item or two, and definitely map completion for people who are into that kind of stuff. I used to be into 100% in games, and then I tried playing Super Mario 64 DS. I actually got all 150 stars, but then I couldn't catch that bunny. That bunny was the bane of everything. Onikiri said to have killed the demon. Oh, nice. I think I'll actually stick with this one, because even though the Poison Fist is funner, and is probably actually shorter in lag, this one auto-cancels. In the sense that if I jump and attack, it cancels all lag. So this one just feels a little smoother to me, especially as a Marth player. Alright, let's go see what the shop has. I'm pretty excited for my oohs and ahs in this section. combat knife. Okay, he's got a battle mode. Right? He sells the climb slish. Very nice. This is the best weapon in the game. Death's rope, Satan's ring. So he sells some pretty good equipment. Nice. And let's talk to Mina. Free health. Very nice. So there's a cool little glitch in this game that I did when I speedran this game, because let's be real, I have no real mechanical skill at this game. And I'm not really sure how the glitch works, but I'll try to attempt it, and I'll put a link down in the description if I utterly fail. The idea is that you sell all but 2 of your items, and that includes consumable items as well as your equipment. And then you can actually sell, in the sell menu, go up a couple times, until eventually you end up selling Hammer's coordinates back to him, because the game is confused about what exactly you're selling. Something programming. So, I'm sure that sounds confusing, but once we do that in practice, I think it will be a little bit more sensible. So let's see, let's go ahead and remove the black belt. Well, I'll remove the casual clothes, they probably matter less. Go ahead and put the black belt on, and I want to keep the poison fist. So I'll sell everything else. That's the black belt. There we go. So now, if I try selling, then I press, is it L? R? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm actually overflowing. And I'm going to sell, I think, Hammer's eyebrows. And that ends up selling my coordinates. 7, 8. Nope. 9, 10. Yes. And now I'm going to appear somewhere in the top left of the screen, and I'm going to fly down. So what I did was I sold my XY coordinates, and I'm going to end up high in the air. Or perhaps I did another glitch, and I actually sold just my X coordinates. Pretty interesting. But now I have a whole ton of gold, and a means to buy the best weapon in the game. Because this game hasn't been broken enough already. I also want to buy Satan's ring, because, you know, Satan. Feels obligatory. The handgun looks pretty interesting, but I want to break the game even further. And Hammer doesn't sell any useful consumable items, so we are fine. I also have a lot of super potions, which I'm not really sure how that happened. For reference, in the real game, you actually get 1, maybe 2 if you do the New Game Plus or Boss Rush mode or whatever. Exciting. So this is the Climb Slish, the best weapon in the game. It looks like this. Yeah. Ridiculous overswing, ridiculous range, ridiculous stats. I'm just going to kill it. I really am. I'm going to have to figure out a way to make this game a little more entertaining, because as it is, I've got the best equipment. And I'm rocking and rolling with pretty much the best soul setup that I have MP for at this juncture. So I'm going to need to do something different. Let's make it interesting. Let's remove this black belt and go armorless. And also... Oh, okay. I was going to say lubricants. So, from now on, I'm going to try not to use healing items in an attempt to counterbalance the game. I don't think this is how Aria of Sorrow is meant to be played. First randomized and then glitched, but hey, you're having fun, you're having fun. Now, at this juncture in the game, I'm supposed to have double jump, so I can jump twice and get to new heights. And also, I'm supposed to go to an area of the game where I have a soul that actually lets me float on water like I'm Jesus. So if I can't show off this unique little trick, then I'll actually go and get that soul and become Jesus. But if not, let's see if I can stay off the cross a little longer. Nope. Nope. Maybe I have to line it up a little closer to the wall here. Okay. This is Commentator's Curse, very clearly. I've also heard of the Let's Play Curse from my childhood, so that might be it as well. Alright, maybe I'll try cutting and seeing if I get it. I got it the third try. This is ridiculous. Whatever. So this is a really cool sequence break, because basically you end up skipping 2, in my opinion, kind of boring sections of the game. One is the dance hall, where you go through and you meet Belmont, one of the vampire hunters I was talking about earlier. And you also meet a couple of other people that I don't remember because I do the sequence break a lot. I will, of course, go back and do those areas, but I thought I would show perhaps some more climactic, interesting parts of the game first. The first thing I'm going to do is go and heal, because I have no guts when it comes to this part of the game, even given my broken equipment. Great. Now that I've been blessed by that religious imagery, I'm going to go ahead and continue. I'm not used to having this sword so early except on New Game Pluses, so this is really a new experience. That, combined with commentating, is making this real doozy, in a real pleasant way. Alright, so coming up are these little blue things, imps I think they're called, and they make me basically lose control of my character if they actually... I'm not sure what the hitbox is, if it's their little pitchfork or if it's the blue body, but I don't really want to find out. I don't have Gravekeeper, so I can't do another glitch here where I kind of go through this wall and go to a late game location, but that's alright. Let's go ahead and go through here. Alright, so this sequence is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of reminiscent of SOTN, or at the very least, the kind of gothic intrigue that SOTN had for me when I played the first 5 minutes, saw Alucard's badass speech against death, and then never played again. And the reason why I think that is, well, for multiple little aesthetic purposes that you would kind of get from watching Digibro videos, right? They're not necessarily concrete. For starters, you have this music. Maybe it's just me, but it feels somehow rousing and somehow mysterious. Maybe I'm just crazy and I've watched too many anime analysis videos, but it feels like it sets the mood just right. And in addition to that, you've got so much religious imagery in this game. I mean, you've got these... Are they naked? Are they wearing dresses? Are they archangels? I'm really not sure. But you've got whatever these guys are, and the wooden golem kind of rising from the dead. You've also got the moon here, and that looks pretty pretty. Pretty is a really interesting phrase. Anywho, it's just all of those things kind of come together, along with the game's... Ooh, wow, that disc armor is doing quite a bit of damage. Forgot I shouldn't heal. Whoopsies. Call it the self-preservation instinct. Maybe I'll try to limit myself to, let's say, 1 healing item per location. Nah, I think I'm too much of a scrub for that. Let's try 3 healing items per location. So I've exhausted 1 for the floating gardens here. Giant worm. Alrighty. I don't know if this actually works as advertised, by the way, because I could have sworn I've tried this before and been thoroughly disappointed. Oh, okay, never mind. It actually does work as advertised. You hole up in a save room, or at the very least a safe room, and you're good. That's pretty awesome. Oh jeez, that devil really scared me. No, wearing Satan's ring, by the way. That's the black belt. Satan himself once wore this ring. Fun fact, I'm actually wearing... Well, I'm actually at a mid to late game stage. That's a pretty fun fact. But even more than that, fun fact, I have 2 of the 3 very late game items. So I'll try not to use healing items as far as possible. However, I am quite negligent when I play this game, and I'm also quite unskilled when it comes to actual playing and resource management. So there is that factor of it too.